Morning, guys. Today, Wayne Dyer shares with us another amazing piece of advice, and that is there are no justified resentments. So, what that means is there's no reason for us to continue to allow hate and vengeance to fill our hearts, no matter what's happened to us. It's a very hard thing, a very hard practice to implement, but we have to work on it because there's no reason to justify why we should allow hatred towards any other human being, no matter what's happened to us. That is still a decision we make. It's a hard one to, sort of a hard, bitter medicine to swallow. But if we can accept that, we can change our life, and we can make sure that the resentment stops with us, that the negativity stops with us, no matter what's happened to us. It's very difficult, but if we can commit to that and understand there's no justification for our own resentment, we can free ourselves. Have a great morning, everyone.
Feel the power of your determination taking control of your breathing. Feel the power of your presence, your gift, right now in this moment. Now think about you doing your best today on all the exercises we do together. Gym of life. See, we are so powerful, we get to think, create, imagine in our minds, and make real in the world. And that goes with everything. The way we do our exercises, to the best of our ability, is the same way we can do anything to the best of our ability. All right, good morning, determination. How's everyone today? Here we are again, another day in the gym of life. Again, circumstances may not be ideal. Perhaps this is not exactly where we want to be right now, but we're going to make the best of it. So let's do this together. Here we go. When I say go, we're going to start jogging on the spot. Or if you want, you can simply do your best walk on the spot. Okay? Here we go together. And go. Always doing our best with whatever we got, whatever we've been given. The gym of life is everywhere, never ends. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever your situation is, if you're here right now watching this video, we are together, we are united, mind and body. Alright, let's feel that body warming up, our blood starting to flow. Keep going, almost there. And stop. Alright. Walking back and forth, side to side, within the space that you have, or simply walking on the spot if that's all the space you have. Again, feel the power of you regaining control of your breathing. Showing your body who's boss. Showing your mind who's boss. The way we take control of that breathing, same way we can take control of our lives. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. All right, everyone, let's do some shoulder rolls. Here we go. Shoulder rolls, 10 forward. And backwards. Once again, feel the pure joy of you, your presence, your being right here, right now. Feel the gratitude that you can show for being able to move your body. All right, arm circles forward, arm circles forward, 10 forward. And backwards. Okay, hands on our hips, bend our knees, and let's side stretch. 5 on each side. Keep those knees bent. Alright, and let's twist our bodies. 5 on each side again. Feet flat on the floor. Just twisting our hips. Alright, let's do 5 push-ups, everyone. That's 5 push-ups. Here we go. If you got to keep your knees down on the ground, you can do that. Okay, 5 sit-ups. All right, let's do 5 squats. Here we go. Best 5 squats ever. All the way down, all the way up. Good. All right, let's do lunges. 3 on each side. Arms out. Okay. Let's do 10-second planks. Belly's knees off the ground. Alright, good everyone, excellent. And stand up. And let's reach for the ceiling or the sky, wherever we are. Here we go. On your toes. Hold it for 10 seconds. Feel the power of you reaching. Doing your best, no matter what. Alright. And let's reach for our toes, straight knees. Again, it's okay if you don't touch your toes, just reach. Safely, without hurting yourself. You should just feel a pull. You shouldn't feel pain. Okay, come on back up. And let's work on our balance. Grab one leg. Find that balance. Bend the other knee if you have to. And pull back your heel towards your bottom. Pull that thigh back. Hold it for 10 seconds. Feel the power of you finding your balance right now. And switch. The other one. Feel the power of all of us together in this moment, united, doing our best together on these stretches and exercises. Alright, and switch. This time hug your knee, the other side. Hard to find that balance. Think about what you're doing. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Okay, and switch the other one. Again, bend the other knee as you pull one up and hug the one knee. Okay, good. All right, and let's sit down. Let's do our V-shaped stretch by reaching for the floor as far away from your body as you can. Hold it
Takes on Lel. Cuts it back, Messi!
Barely had 2 consecutive touches. Oh, look at the room through the middle, and Messi goes away. It's Messi, and it's in. And Jordi Alba, it will come to Messi again, and it's still Messi, and that's the result. It's just relentless.
Hey everybody, so I come with you with sort of mixed emotions today. I'm both excited and at the same time grieving a little bit like millions of other people are. So today I'm going to share with you a conversation with the beautiful soul that was Judge Frank Caprio. And ironically, we didn't know it at the time, but this was the last interview of this precious man's life. So I'm honored to share it with you. I'm also honored to let you know that on behalf of his family, we're going to make a donation to his favorite cause. And if you're interested in donating along with us, you can click the link below or in the show notes. But this is a beautiful conversation with a brilliant and gentle, generous man. And I'm so honored that I got to share the final one of his life with all of you. God bless you, everybody. Enjoy this special conversation with a beautiful man. He's 88 years old. You all know who he is. Immediately, you'll recognize his voice. If you're on YouTube, you'll recognize his face. This is the great Judge Frank Caprio.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me. Listen, sir, I wish you all the best. I wish the best for your son, and I wish you good health. And your case is dismissed. Good luck to you, and God bless you. Thank you. I'm going to use their generosity to pay for your fines. I'm going to reduce the fines to $200.
Thank you.
Come up here. Come up here. I want to give you a hug. Come up here. My first day on the court, I asked my dad if he would come down. I want my dad to see me up on the bench. This woman came in. She had 3 or 4 kids. She had traffic violations of somewhere around $300 to $400. The more I tried to help her, the more arrogant she became. I became a little upset, and I fined her the full fine. And now the court is over, and I'm so proud of myself. So I'm all smiles. Dad, how did I do? He looked at me and says, how did you do? The woman that had the 3 or 4 kids, how could you do that? Maybe she can't feed her kids tonight. Maybe she can't pay her rent. They'll turn the electricity off. You can't treat people that way. You weren't brought up that way. That set the stage for my entire judgeship. That first day on the bench with my dad giving me hell. He never gave me lessons in saying this is how you treat people, but he did it by way of example. So I lived that. My mother was known in the neighborhood for feeding people that were hungry. If you were hungry, come to my house, don't worry, you would get a nice meal. Anyone that was in distress would stop by our house and they were helped. A good life is service to others. Personal wealth is not a good life, but treating others with respect and dignity and helping when you can, that's a good life.
How do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as someone that helped other people. Very simply. What a big long speech. Someone who helped others, particularly those in need.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. So today's a special day for me. This is somebody that I've admired from a distance for it's just an extremely long time. He's an internet sensation, but he's 88 years old. You all know who he is. Immediately, you'll recognize his voice. If you're on YouTube, you'll recognize his face. I consider him a kindness broker. A kindness broker. And somebody that if you just watched him, I think you'd just live better if you emulated many of the things that he does in his life. And he's coming to us today on a day, I don't think he's feeling his best. He's also been going through a cancer battle. I asked him how he was 1 to 10. He said a 5. I said, well, by the time we're done, we're getting you to at least a 6.2. So he's sucking it up for us today on a day where he's not feeling his best as well. But he has a way to always make other people feel their best, even when he's not feeling his best. And he'll do that for all of you today, for millions of you around the world. This is the great Judge Frank Caprio joining us today. Judge Frank, thank you for being here today. It's an honor to have you.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. It's my son, Frank, is here.
And we got one of the producers that's been with my dad from day one. Emmy nominated 4 times, Taylor.
How you doing?
My mom wants to say hello.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
How are you?
Well, we're going to hold your whole family up in some prayer, like literally right when this thing's over with, so we get a little comfort and a little strength coming your way.
That's good.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing it with us today. I know it wasn't easy, and we're very, very grateful. So thank you. Let's go back a long time. When you're 88, you can go back a long time, right? We could go through your upbringing and whatnot, but I want to first touch on a day because it just struck my heart. I actually was reading about it. I got teary-eyed. You as a little boy and your grandmother, ironically, of all places, is in court. And that day kind of made an imprint on you for the rest of your life, never knowing at that age you'd end up spending a lot of your life in courtrooms. You were just a little boy at the time, but maybe you could just set the stage for maybe just a lesson in your life that you learned very young in a place that you spent a lot of time teaching other people lessons.
That was actually my father who was in court with his father.
Okay.
And my grandfather was a fruit peddler from Italy,
Ah, okay.
as was my father.
Okay.
I'm first generation here. So my grandfather and a number of his buddies, after peddling fruit all day, decided they'd play some cards and they got a little rowdy, and my grandfather got arrested. And my father was one of 10 children.
What?
And so my grandmother was notified that the following day she had to be in court because her husband got arrested.
Oh my
So she's
God.
from Italy. She doesn't understand the process here. So she thinks she needs a lot of money to get her husband out of jail. So she goes to all the other fruit peddlers and borrows money from them. And the following day, she brings my father, because she didn't speak English. She brings my father, who was in his early teens at the time. She brings my father as the interpreter.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so your dad's the little boy.
My dad is the little boy, right?
Okay, and what did he see that day?
My grandmother is there with my dad in court, and my grandfather's been in the cell all night, so they call his case, and my grandfather comes from the cell and he's disheveled, and they seat him down, and my grandmother gets so excited. She's in this strange court. But what she did was the night before, she went out and borrowed money from all of the other fruit peddlers, thinking that she was going to need some money to get her husband out of jail. And so as soon as they bring my grandfather up, my father is the interpreter because my grandmother didn't speak English. And she says she has a handful of money that she borrowed from the fruit peddlers. And she says, please, judge, please, no jail. I got a pneumonia. It's an interesting story because my father was one of 10 children, and they all told this story with such reverence for that judge. Mm-hmm. My father, every time he discussed this judge, here's how he described him: that great white-haired Irish judge. That great white-haired Irish judge.
Why was he great? Was he kind to your grandmother?
My grandmother got up and said, here's the money. The judge said to my father, are you going to interpret for your mom? And he says, yes. He says, tell your mother that I'm going to send her husband home and I want her to cook him a good meal. Mm. He's a good man, and he had one bad day, and I'm not going to keep him here, but I want you to go home with him and take care of him. Wow. That one episode changed the view of justice with all 10 children. Mm. I heard that story when I was a kid. It changed my view from the time I was a youngster, and I always remember that story. And interestingly, in Providence, an area of immigrants, particularly Latin American, and I could review that story 1,000 times over with those that came before me, but I always remembered the impact that it had on my family.
That upbringing of yours, this is interesting for people to hear, just perspective, because you don't hear this anymore. Everything on Instagram now is get your Lamborghini, be a rich guy, get on the boat and sell the dream, and you said, the way you grew up, you're poor, and you actually called that a privilege. Do you really mean that? And if you do mean it, what was the privilege of being poor?
It's true. I did have the privilege of being brought up poor because I appreciated, because of my upbringing with both parents, who were immigrants, the fabric of America and the riches that we have here, not so much in money, but in what we were entitled to and how we're treated. And my father constantly preached that about what a great country this was and that we had opportunity. And I can remember, just simple little things that when I was 10 years old, he said to me, someday you're going to be a lawyer. And it was like an edict, from above. It wanted to be anything else but a lawyer from the time I was 10 years old.
Did you ever think when you were going to become a lawyer that you'd end up being a judge? I mean, there was no internet at the time, but I mean, did you have a sense that that's something that maybe your life mattered, that you wanted to have an impact in the world? Was that
That was not one of my goals. It never dawned upon me. You have to understand, we lived in what they call a cold water flat, which means we didn't have hot running water. And it was just the fact that I was going to be a lawyer was so monumental to me. So we never went to the next step. That after that, what was going to happen? But it happened naturally, obviously.
you and I would watch your clips. By the way, I watch very few things on social media, so you're all over my social media feed because I clicked on these clips of you.
Good afternoon, guys. We have to positively brainwash our minds. We have to make it our number one priority to start our day that way. It's the one thing that has helped me so much, and it is one thing I'm trying to do is to add value in your life through spreading as much positive thought energy because it's helped me. It's worked for me, and I hope that it can work for you. In fact, I know it will work for you. But it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a commitment, and it takes you winning in the morning. You got to get up earlier. I know it's hard, but maybe you start little by little, and that's the time. That's the focus time where you start filling your mind with positive thought energy. We're going to be brainwashed anyway. Our minds are going to be filled and occupied by default by negative things. If we don't make an effort, that's what will happen. So it's up to you. You got to fight. You got to positively brainwash your mind. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
And reach for one side. Hold it there. And switch the other side. Okay, feet together and gently push your knees down with your elbows. Hold it there. Again, enjoy fully the process of what we're doing. Working on our bodies and working on our minds. In every stretch, every movement, every thought. Okay, one leg forward, one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground, go as far back as you can. And switch, other side. As far back as you can, hold that knee down. Always reach. Going for a little bit more than you did last time. Alright, okay, and legs crossed. Actually, before we do that, let's roll onto our bellies. And let's push the floor and look up at the sky or ceiling. Hold it for 10. Here we go. Alright, and now legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Focused on our breathing. Tapping into that power. That power to see first in your mind what you want to bring out into the world. That's our determination, our greatest power ever. Always available to us. So right now I'm going to see myself doing the best I can to hold the plank position for one song, and then the best I can to hold my side plank positions for the rest of the other song. 2 songs today for me. What about you? What are you going to see in your mind? What exercise are you going to visualize right now? You visualize yourself doing your best dance, your best jog, your best squats, your best sit-ups, your best jumping jacks, whatever it is. See in your mind right now before you bring it out into the world. Okay, here I go. Plank position. Holding it as long as I can. Here we go. What about you? What are you working on right now? Whatever you're doing, do it to the best of your ability and feel the joy. Feel the power of you loving what you're doing right now. That's why I love the gym of life. It goes wherever we go. Whether we're at school, whether we're at work, at home, we have that power. We have that power to control our minds, to do our best on whatever it is we're doing. Whether it's a plank, whether it's sitting down, your legs crossed, your back straight, meditating, whether it's reading a book, whether it's being your best and kind to your friends, your family, do it with everything you got, every part of your being. You were born to do that. No matter what's going on around you, you control what goes on inside your mind, and therefore what goes on in your body. Always remember your breathing. Control your breathing. I love the joy of feeling that moment when it comes, when my body wants to quit, when the discomfort is getting to be too much. And then I stand in that space, and I get to determine it. I get to choose. I get to make the winning choice. That's determination. To keep going as much as I can, a little bit more than last time. I feel my muscles achy, trembling. But I get to choose. No, I get to determine. I get to make the winning choice of not giving up, no matter what. And if I do choose and lose, I give up, I get to come back again and again, every single time. It's the same power you have. We all have. No matter what. Alrighty. Proud of my effort there.
Who came in and knocked David Villa. Here's Messi. Messi makes space for himself, taking on all comers. Lionel Messi! That's it. Goal 85 of the year 2012. And no player, not Pele, not Cruyff, not Maradona, nobody has scored more goals in a calendar year than the great Lionel Messi. It's a fantastic run from Adriano. Spare man on the far side. Messi has a decoy in Iniesta. Iniesta back to Messi! Oh my goodness. And now he is the man who scored more goals in the calendar year than anybody else. Some say he's the greatest, and statistically, he is the greatest now. Moment of discontent. Now Pedro taking on the Cordoba defence. Threads it through. Spare man! Oh, Messi! Xavi.
All the time. I feel like I really know you very well. And I wanted to ask you, this isn't in the book, but it's something I'm just curious about. You have kept, since that story you learned as a little boy about the judge and your family, you've kept this, I'd call it like an outlook on humanity that is favorable and positive and loving. This is a hard question, Frank, but I'm curious, sir. It's got to be hard, and you're in a courtroom, so you're mainly seeing people who are accounting for one of their bigger mistakes in their life. You're not seeing them on their best day necessarily. And in the world today, in social media or TV, it's just so much negativity all the time that it can sour you on people, on life. And I don't think anybody would blame you as a judge day after day hearing people's stories of, why they've made this mistake or committed this crime. How did you, or did you, keep this outlook that people are good in general and that we should treat them well?
I was very fortunate that it wasn't only my father, it was my mother as well. My mother was known in the neighborhood for feeding people that were hungry.
Yeah.
If you were hungry, come to my house, don't worry, you would get a nice meal. And it was always like, let's help other people. But I was saying that, but anyone that was in distress would stop by our house and they were helped. My father, one of his jobs was he was a milkman. He'd wake my brother and I up at 4 a.m. to go to work on the truck.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't want to do this the rest of your life, make sure you stay in school. But I learned something from that. If someone could not pay their milk bill, the company had a policy that after 3 weeks you stopped delivery. That was their policy. His policy was if they had children, he would never stop the milk. He didn't care what the company policy was. And many times he'd take money out of his own pocket and say they're making an effort to pay.
Oh my gosh.
So these were the examples that I saw, by way of example. These weren't speeches that were given to me. So it wasn't a situation where I was given a speech saying do A and my parents did B. They never made the speech. All they did was they did A.
I've always said with parents, a lot of the things with our parents, it's caught, not taught. We catch it because we see it from them. It's different than hearing a speech like some guy like me could give from a stage or something like that. I was thinking about all the stories. By the way, his book, you guys, I want to make sure that I give him proper credit for this book. By the way, his nickname is America's Nicest Judge, but the book is called Compassion in the Court, Life-Changing Stories from America's Nicest Judge. He's just one of America's kindest people. There he is. He's holding it. And I want to make sure you've learned the social media game for sure. I want to make sure that you guys all get this because these are lessons that, they're timeless. And in a time like we're in today, they're mandatory. And the other thing I like about you, you're transparent. You're not perfect. You've made mistakes in your life as well. And I was thinking about your first day as a judge. And you have a story from that day, your very first day, that I think you tended to regret a little bit of something from that day. And I think it just goes to show you that you can learn lessons in life if you don't handle things perfectly the first time too. If you wouldn't mind sharing that story.
My first day on the court, I asked my dad if he would come down. I'm a judge now. I want my dad to see me up on the bench.
Sure.
And this woman came in. She had 3 or 4 kids. I'm not sure how many. And she had traffic violations of somewhere around $300 to $400. And she was the most arrogant person you can imagine. So she said, she's in the court. I'm trying to help her. And she says, I just can't pay it. I'm not paying it. I don't have the money, And the more I try to help her, the more arrogant she became. And so then she became arrogant, and I became a little upset. And I fined her the full fine. I gave her penalties. I gave her everything. And now the court is over, and I'm so proud of myself. My dad was there on my first day as a judge. And I was in my judge's chambers, and I said to the bailiff, bring my dad in, please. I want to talk to him. So I'm all smiles. Dad, how did I do? He looked at me. He says, how did you do? How did you do? I said, He said, that woman. I said, what woman? The woman that had the 3 or 4 kids. He says, how could you do that? You can't do that to people. I said, she was so arrogant. She was rude. He said, she was scared. He said, do you know now that maybe she can't feed her kids tonight? Maybe she can't pay her rent. Maybe she can't pay one of her bills. They'll turn the electricity off. You can't treat people that way. You weren't brought up that way. That set the stage for my entire judgeship. That first day on the bench with my dad giving me hell.
That is a great story. I was telling my wife I was going to you today. She's like, I haven't seen you this excited in a while, you know? And I said, it's just someone that I admire. And one thing my dad had, my dad was a recovering alcoholic, by the way, Judge. So he ended up being sober for 35 years. So I saw two dads. I saw the dad that wasn't living so good, and then I saw the dad that was. But no matter whether he had been drinking or not drinking, he was always giving and kind. And I think what I admire in you is I see the best of my dad in you. And I want you to talk about something. I'll say it and then you tell me if I'm wrong. But my dad, when I'd see people, there's a homeless guy on the street and I'm a little boy, I go, Dad, that guy's got 2 arms and 2 legs. Like, why isn't he out getting a job for his family? Or why has he got his kids? And no matter what the situation was ever, my dad would say, Eddie, put yourself in their shoes. Try to walk in their shoes. And I don't think I've really even done a very good job of that in my life. I mean, maybe as I've gotten older, I have. But you seem to me to almost, when you're talking to someone or hearing their case or just interacting, you put yourself in their shoes. Well, am I right about that? You're smiling, so.
I was just about ready to give you that answer. And that's exactly what I did. I always placed myself in the shoes of the person that was before me, because that first case in the court, when my father chastised me, taught me so much of life. And he went on explaining to me, you don't know what their life is like. Maybe she can't feed her kids tonight and so forth. And those were his words. Put yourself in her shoes. And I never forgot that. And I try to follow that as long as I was on the bench.
Did you ever go through a time in your life, Judge, honestly, where you seemed to be egoless almost? And I'm sure that there have been times in your life where, as a young man in your 30s or 40s or 50s in the prime of your career, and you're probably doing very well as a lawyer or whatever it was. Have you always been humble, or is this something you've had to work on? Because there's people listening to the show, frankly, that they're starting to have some success. And when you start to have some success or a couple bucks or some notoriety, you can begin to feel pretty good about yourself. Did you ever go through a season like that? And was there ever a time that you had to be reminded of where you come from? Have you always held on to it? You're laughing again, so I guess there's an answer.
Well, my dad would wake my brother and I up at 4 a.m. to help him on the milk truck.
Yep.
He would say, if you don't want to do this the rest of your life, you better stay in college. You better go to college. And then I saw how he treated people who couldn't pay their milk bill. And even though his company was a major company, would demand that after a period of time, 2 or 3 weeks, if they didn't pay the bill, that he was ordered to stop the milk. That was their rule. His rule was if they had children, he never stopped the milk. And many times he'd put money out of his own pocket and say they're trying to pay. But he never gave me lessons in saying this is how you treat people and this is how you treat people. But he did it by way of example. So I lived that. I saw how my dad treated people. I saw how my mom treated people. She fed people that were hungry. So all of that was the great learning experience for me. But it wasn't a situation where I was sat down and said, okay, now this is how you treat people.
You've had a bout with some health the last while now. And if I be serious with you, I'm curious, like advice from a wise man. Like we're all in the midst of doing our lives right now. They're listening to the show or watching it. And I hope you have 20 more years. But let's assume that you're in the final quarter, right? Later in life. What do you believe, if you could give us wisdom and you could speak to someone younger, what makes a good life? What makes a good life for you?
Yeah. A good life is service to others. That's a good life. Self-aggrandizement is not a good life. Personal wealth is not a good life. But treating others with respect and dignity and helping when you can, that's a good life.
That was right to the point. Is there ever a story in court that you, even to this day, think of that brings you to tears? Someone in front of you that you thought, my gosh, this poor person. Is there one that
Good evening, guys. I want to share with you an amazing story of just how powerful we are and how much we underestimate the power of a decision in a moment. I don't know, you guys probably heard about it, maybe you didn't. Last week I shared a link actually on Facebook about a gentleman who had scaled the balconies of an apartment building to save a child that was dangling from, I don't know what it was, fourth or fifth floor. I don't recall exactly, but when asked afterwards how he did it, because it seems superhuman, he just simply said that he saw the child there. He knew that that child needed help, and he just made a decision that that child wasn't going to die while he was there. And he went up those balconies from the outside of the building and climbed up. Incredible. A powerful, powerful story of just how amazing a decision can be if we lock into it with our full power of our mind. Have a great evening, everyone.
Next song, we're going to hold the side plank position for one side and then side planks for the other side. Show you in a moment. How about you? You proud of your effort so far? Keep going, everybody. Keep going. Keep moving. Moving is winning. Doing our best is winning. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing. That's the gym of life. Here we go. You can feel free to do what I'm doing, or again, if you want to decide to do something else, something that you want to improve on from last time, an exercise, whatever it is, keep doing it, keep going, do your best, try to do a little bit better than last time. That's your determination. You get to use it wherever you go, wherever you are. You get to determine, you get to win, make the winning accurate, kind, peaceful, loving, positive choice to keep going, to keep finding out how unlimited you really are. So I'm just trying to hold my my body in a plank position with my one elbow down, other arm on the side of my body, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm lifted off the ground. The other side too. That'll be my exercise for today. How about you? Keep going, whatever you're doing. If you're dancing, you're doing jumping jacks, doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, whatever it is, keep going. Alright, other side now. Try to hold it for the duration of the song. If not, I'm gonna keep going. Even if I fall down or stop, get right back up and keep going. Always do my best, always seeking and striving for my best, for our best. The more I do my best, the more I believe others around want to do their best. And that goes for you. That's how powerful we are. You doing your best right now, wherever you are, whatever exercise you're doing, that's the same process that other people can be inspired by. It's really simple. Just live. Be your best. Be your true being. Don't let negativity, don't let fear, don't let the pain, the discomfort stop you forever. Keep going. Find out your pure joy, your happiness. All through your body and your mind, together as one. Song's not over. Gotta get back up, gotta keep going. Let's do the other side. You too, keep going until the music stops. Don't stop, keep going. Alright, excellent job.
touch football. Messi. Excellent anticipation play, this from Barcelona. Messi's at the end of it. Magical. It's in from the wing. Messi's in support. Messi draws defenders.
What a goal.
It wouldn't be a Barcelona game without a Lionel Messi goal. They've come up against, well, the Predators, and they've given it away. It's Messi.
Ball. Stands out above others, or a one that stands out?
Well, I have several. Well, I'll tell you, one woman came in and she couldn't pay her bill, and she actually became a little arrogant. And next thing I know, she told me that her child had died the day before. And so I've had several situations like that. So, and my point is, I know people have said to me, the law is the law, and that's it. Doesn't make any difference. That's their rule. My rule is, I'm dealing with another human being, and I take all of those factors into consideration.
You say compassion is action. What does that mean?
Well, a lot of people talk compassion.
Yeah.
But acting on compassion is something different. If you see a person who's down on their luck and they can't afford a meal for their family, you tell everybody, boy, that poor family is so terrible. They can't feed their children. That's not active compassion. Active compassion is you help them out.
When you look at, not to be political, but so we're not going to be political here. I don't do that here. But I consider you like a leader. You led the courtroom when you were in it, and then, hundreds of millions of views of clips of you. And a lot of people that watch my show or listen to it are leaders of a family, or they're leaders of their business, or they're aspiring leaders. And it just seems like compassion, kindness, empathy seems to be maybe not as rewarded or as acknowledged as a priority as it once was and should be. And it's not always the examples we see from either political party or around the world. I just wonder what you think makes a great leader. And I know that's not in the book, but it's a question I wanted to ask you because I consider you someone who's led in many different areas of your life. You've led your family, you've led in the courtroom, you've been a leader for people's emotions and the way they view the world on social media. What do you think makes a great leader?
At the end of the day, we're judged by how we treat others. That's leading. And how we treat others is it's by way of example. And that's how we treat others. I know so many instances where people preach one thing and treat people differently, And I see it on the bench, unfortunately, with judges. That happens, So, but I think at the end of the day, how we treat other people is really how we're going to be judged.
When you read your work, there's a lot of family in it. And I'll tell you a thing on my dad I wanted to ask you about. I wish I could ask my dad this, and I can't, so I'm asking you. As I got older, I would look at my dad, and he didn't have a lot of friends. He had some, but not a lot. And I used to think, how do you get through life and not have 85 or 90 or 100 friends? Like how is that? It's when I was younger. And then I asked my dad, I said, Dad, how come you don't have any friends? He goes, Eddie, friends are important, but family's different. And family is what you're going to have as you get older. Maybe there's a few friends that are chosen family, but it's family. And it makes me emotional to say this to you. But as I've gotten older, my friend circle has shrunk considerably. There's not as many that are there forever. They're there for a season in life. And there's just these values in life that I feel like were more centrist 40, 50, 60 years ago, which was family. And no one, it seems to not be talked about anymore. And I'm reading your book and I'm like, family this, family this. Your dad in the book is in there throughout, and your mom. And I'm just wondering what you would say to us listening to these wise words about the importance of family.
The basic unit of society is the family unit. There's no question about that. And our first teachers in life are our parents. They're teaching us by way of example on how they treat other people. At the end of the day, we're judged not by how much money we make, but by how much we help others. That's basically what it's all about. Service to others.
You think Tup would be proud of you?
I hope so. I know that
Tup is his dad, by the way.
He was proud of me the first day I came to court. I'm not sure about after that. No, he was very proud of me. Tup was a very unique individual. He would help anybody and everybody. You know, that was his life. His motto was be of service to others.
Well, I think he's damn proud of you. I know our time's limited, but I want to ask you about cycles. You know, they run through families too. And I assume, you know, when you're in court, there's some through lines that are common. Not always, but poverty, addiction, trauma, stress. You've seen a lot of that. What do you think can break that cycle more powerfully than a courtroom or law can? Is there something that can break through those cycles?
I've said earlier, the basic unit of society is the family unit, and that's where it all comes from. It's very difficult to be exposed as a youngster in the early years of your life, to be exposed and seeing certain behavior. You know, that's not good. And then all of a sudden, you don't treat people that way. Our greatest goal in life is to be of service to others. So many times people don't have that opportunity to have a loving house, a loving father, a loving mother, loving grandparents, loving cousins. My mother was one of 8. My father was one of 10. I had over 40 cousins. I had 18 aunts and uncles. And I can say without fear of contradiction that at any time I could walk into any of my aunts, my houses or uncles' houses and say, I'm hungry, and I get fed. And if I didn't say I was hungry, they'd ask me, are you hungry?
That sounds like my family too. This is the hardest question you're going to get asked in any of your interviews because it's not in the book. So I'm going to push you on a day you're not even feeling your best, but I'm going to push you. Is there something that you believed when you were young that you changed your mind about as you got older and you don't believe anymore, and you've changed your belief about something? So the book's about lessons you learned when you were young through your upbringing, but is there something you as a little boy or a young man or early in your career believed that was important that you no longer believe, that you changed your mind about?
Well, first of all, I've said this in so many different ways and so many times, is that my big experiences in life came from my dad and how I was brought up, from my mother and my father. And those are lessons that you just don't discard. They're deeply embedded in me for the rest of my life. And I try to display those qualities with my children as well. I'm not sure if I was successful, but I think I was. I was sick of hearing people say, my kids, I just can't control my kids. What do you mean you can't control your kids? You know, then then get into a long conversation. How do you treat your kids? What do you do for them? Do you take them out? You know, do you ask them how they're feeling? Do you spend special time with them? Do you take them to Fenway Park? I mean, do you do all of this stuff? You know, that's what family life is all about, is showing love. You know, it's not enough to say to your kids before you go to bed at night, I love you. And during the day, ignore them. It's all in that personal relationship. I grew up knowing that no matter what the circumstances in life were, to make any difference what they were, that if I was in trouble, my father would be there, and my mother as well. I never was at that point, incidentally. I never was at that point.
It made me think when you said that. I wonder how many people don't feel that, don't have that.
No, I was going to say, I think the disintegration of the family unit is the sin of this country.
Gosh, I think you're right. I think you're right. Last question for you. By the way, God bless you. You're such a special man. I'm going to pray that you feel a little bit better too. I want you to know that.
Fran.
I will. I'll keep praying. I know it's a rough time. How do you want to be remembered? Or do you not care?
I want to be remembered as someone that helped other people. Very simply. What a big long speech. Someone who helped others, particularly those in need.
I want to tell you something. You did that today, and you weren't feeling up to it. And, you know, you said something earlier. People talk a good talk, but at 88 years old and going through what you're going through in your health right now and not feeling your best today, you do it unconditionally. And that's character. It's not just when you feel like it, or when conditions are great, or when people treat you kindly to you, so you treat them kindly back. It's unconditional. And I'm so honored I got time with you today.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for helping so many people today, Judge. And I want to make sure everybody holds you up in prayer, number one. And number two, since we're in the business of books, let's make sure they go get compassion in the court. Hold it up again, young man. There it is.
I just happen to have one here.
Life-changing stories from America's nicest judge, and maybe the nicest person I've ever met, too. So, Judge Frank Caprio, thank you for today. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. So, what a gift. And I have to tell you, I've done a lot of interviews in my life, and his inherent goodness shined through even as he was going through what was a very painful day, to be candid with you. I asked him multiple times before we recorded that day, do you want to do this? And this beautiful man said, absolutely, yes. He powered through all of the discomfort and lost his life just several days after that conversation. That's how you know you want to have a life of service. And he told us all in that interview, justice without compassion isn't justice at all. And if there's anything he represented, it was compassion. And you saw that shine through in the interview. And again, I just want to remind you that we're going to make a donation to his favorite cause and charity on behalf of our organization. And you're welcome to do the same by clicking the link that you see in your show notes or below here. Just want to say God bless you to everybody. And I hope you share this episode with as many people as you possibly can to honor this great man. God bless you.
And let's bring it back. Let's connect our breathing to our body, to our mind, to our energy. To our energy of determination. That's right. We determine. We don't choose and lose, give up, believe lies, give in to fear. We don't do that. We don't give in to anxiety, stress, things that are not the truth of who we are. The way you did your best today, whatever exercises, stretches you chose to do, it's the same process you get to use here, now, and wherever you go. In the gym of life, you get to grow your mind. You get to grow your mind health and your mind wealth. It's all possible if you determine, make the winning choice to be kind, to be peaceful, caring, loving, appreciative, grateful for everything you have here and now. I'm so grateful for my breath right now. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for our being, what we all truly are. I'm proud of my effort today, and I hope you are proud of yours. Because that effort, that process, that determination you use, it's available to you all the time. It's your greatest gift. So don't ever give up on using your determination to be your true, kind, positive, loving self. To control your own mind, no matter what is going on outside of it. You are infinitely intelligent, powerful beyond measure, and you get to work now more than ever. Your own mind, your own body, your own energy. Making yourself better now so that you can be better forever. I love you, everyone. Have a great week. Have a great day. Enjoy your life every moment, no matter what. We are united always. Love you guys.
Bye.